Hey, welcome back, man. It's week 3.
Week 3 already.
Welcome back to another episode of Auburn All the Time, double A double T. I got my boy here, my main man, Mr. Football himself, Bruce Howard, and I'm your boy Rod Stevens. Hey man, he rocking Captain America. I'm
Yeah,
repping the
man.
HBCU. It's still War Eagle though.
Oh yeah. All
But
the
hey,
time.
man, we here in week 3, and like we always say, man, we appreciate y'all watching and tuning in. Hey, we just want to ask y'all to continue to like, share, and comment. Man, we really would like to know what y'all feel about how we doing and what we can improve on. But with that being said, we had a week 2 game of Cal versus Auburn. So really, man, this is gonna be a short show. We'll get into the woes of the offense. I couldn't find my dunce cap, so I guess I just went ahead and wore my Auburn cap.
Right.
But we'll talk about the woes of the offense, if there's any, and y'all guys feel free to comment. We'll talk about how well the defense played, and I guess we'll preview the homecoming game.
Yeah.
So I'll start out with you, man. Offense wise, I don't know. I'll give my comments and my takes, but I pass it over to you and let you have the table on that.
Man, from an offensive standpoint, disaster. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. Defense won the game for them, and basically the lack that the fact they don't have a consistent kicker helped
Right.
some.
Right.
But with that being said, if it wasn't for just straight, I would say mental errors, that's more than anything that really cost them. I mean, it's nothing that can't be fixed. I put it more on the coaches than I do the players because the rotating the quarterbacks in series is not going to work. You're going to have to settle on one guy, Thorne, hopefully, and just go with him. The whole playbook, let him get comfortable, and whatever he's good at, if it's the slant pass, if it's a quick screen passes, whatever it is, bubble screens, whatever he's good at, that's what you got to go with for the time being. But I put that more so on the coaches because if you take away the penalties and the turnovers, I feel like we would have won. We would have won by a larger margin. So it's not. I know there's a lot of fans that's already ready to give up on Thorne and whatever. But I'm not at that point yet because I think it's the first couple of weeks. I kind of feel like it's been a filling out process in a sense, and I think you'll see moving forward. I think you'll see Freeze get more involved with offense because he say that he only called 3 plays this last game, which I don't know if he did or not. I had to take the man for his word, but if he did, them 3, I know one of them was the touchdown pass in the fourth quarter, whatever. I think he needs to get more involved. I mean, in my opinion, because I always consider him one of the best play callers in the country, and no matter how you look at it, that's what's got him to the point of his career. He won't be where he's at if he wasn't a good play caller. And even back when he was at Ole Miss, when Auburn played him, that offense was almost unstoppable.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, he was doing it with, I wouldn't say, I mean, he had talent, don't get me wrong, but it ain't, the talent gap that he had there compared to what he's got, it's not that big.
Well, I feel like he had a better defense during that era too.
Well, there was more aggressive.
Yeah.
The thing about him, people look at him as an offensive head coach, but everywhere he's been, he's always had an attacking style defense because he wants that ball back. I mean, it's sort of got that, sort of like that Spurrier mindset where they're impatient because they always want the ball back.
Yeah.
That's the key. So they've always been aggressive on defense. He'll always play that way. But I mean, hats off to the defense, and I think all is not lost. I mean, we're 2-0. We could be like the other team in the state. I think they're gonna make several changes. But with that being said, I mean, the defense, Asante's, Eugene Asante,
Asante, man,
of course.
was
I mean,
beast, man.
the secondary's been playing good ball all year.
Yeah.
So, and I think the front's starting to come together. Then you got Austin Keys got hurt at linebacker, so you went with Trey Nixon, the North Texas transfer, a little more this past week, and he looks like he's coming along. So I feel good about the defense. I know we're in good hands with Ron Roberts and the defensive side of the ball. If we can somehow, this is the perfect situation this week with Samford, that we can work on that offensive game. So it will be a disappointment to me personally if Thorne's not the starting quarterback and he goes up there and has 30, 35 pass attempts. In my opinion, that's what I would do because it's really no excuse not to do that because you know what you got with the running game. The running game's there. I mean, we know that. Even though they fumbled the ball last week, the running game is there. I feel good. It's that passing game that needs the most work, and I think you'll see that get ironed out some this week because What you don't want to do, you don't want to continue to try to figure things out with Texas A&M coming up, Georgia coming up, Ole Miss coming up, LSU coming up, Arkansas coming up. It's not time for that.
No.
So other than that, man, I still feel like we're right on track to where I think we need to be. But it's all about the quarterback. It's all about the play calling. It's all on offense. Special teams, defense, I feel good about.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Well, you answered one of the questions that I was going to ask you. Is the two quarterback system going to work? And in my opinion, no. I feel like it's a situational thing. We can't be shuffling in guys.
Not
two
mid-drive.
guys. Exactly. Not like that. I mean, if you gonna do red zone Robbie, do red zone Robbie. I mean, let's just keep it like that. Or either open this man package up and go from there. But I agree with you wholeheartedly about the passing game. And you took my point as well. No slight to you or anything, but I mean, great mind. We always say great minds think alike. Yeah. But we're viewing the game the same way. It just the targets. I mean, even the play calling was just. I mean, I was baffled by we're playing a team like this, and we saw how the running game was kind of panning out, and then we couldn't get these receivers. This I'm not gonna say we star-studded, but we got some talent at this receiver position. And without the come up of the tight end play of Fairweather, the clutch play of him at the end of the game, which we had spoke on that last week about when is the tight end play is going to come into effect.
Well, we knew that was coming. They they didn't even focus on that week one. But I'll say this: I think really it's the coach's job, to get these guys the ball, but you gotta run something you gotta build the offense around what the quarterback is capable of. Yeah. And I noticed in the fourth quarter when they got that touchdown drive going, they went with some quick stuff. The tempo, no huddle tempo, whatever. And that's, to me, that's when Thorne looked his best.
Right.
When they went not at checking off and slowing it down, bringing Robbie in, give him the full offense and let him run the pace. That pace, and once the pace going, you seen running backs coming open out the backfield. He took the shot down the field, all that.
Yeah.
I mean, still they still trying to rotate Robbie in the red zone. I'm gonna tell you this too about that situation. It's not gonna work when you get these SEC teams. The defensive line they're gonna see next week against A&M. Auburn ain't seen nothing like that yet. And as soon as, just like against Cal, when he comes in the game, they're crashing them safeties down on him. Yeah. And if you're not gonna let him throw it, if you're not gonna roll him out with a run pass option, it's not gonna work because they know they're not even looking at the running back. They're keying it on him. So it's not. I say red zone Robbie. I love red zone Robbie. He needs to go. I mean, when you put him in the game, he needs to have the whole playbook, the whole series, whatever. Right. If you're not going to do it, just bring them in every 3 or 4 plays, that's not going to work. Yeah. You mess up the timing. I'm going to tell you something else, too, that I learned just by playing football myself. Each quarterback's cadence, their voice and everything is different. And that you get false starts, you get all kinds of stuff because they're not the same. And you're adjusting on the fly. I'm going to tell you something else they're doing that I don't like. They're rotating their linemen, too. Instead of having 5 linemen in there, you're starting 5, getting them, comfortable playing along each other. I know they're doing it for depth purposes, don't get me wrong. That needs to slow down some, too. The whole thing, they basically need to go back to square one and let's just run that RPO, no huddle offense that he's known for. So,
well, and going back to what I was saying, the point that you made about it, I think most of it I would put most of it on coaching.
Yeah.
And I think this week Hugh will get in more involved, like you said, just to use that term, more involved. I think he's gonna get in more of the. Of course, I think he was said he was gonna be in more of the offensive meetings this week. But I mean, as a CEO of an organization, and I'm talking about any organization, I mean, with whether you're looking at football or Fortune 500 company, it is the CEO's job to know what's going on. And then also, you said that Hugh Freeze, his strength is play calling. So he needs to flex his muscles in
Yeah,
that
he
area
will.
this week and the following weeks to come, because this two quarterback stuff and shuffling linemen in and all this stuff, man, it's more of a rhythm game. And for a game like what we had, like Cal, man, we should have saw a better performance from the offense. Now, moving on with the defense, I felt like they played, as good as they could get out there with the exception of the where they was giving up field position and all that type of stuff because of the offense, and the fact that Cal didn't have a kicker worth. If they had me out there, I would have made at least 3 of them 5 field goals or whatever he.
Yeah, you do got strong.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I'm just.
Yeah.
But anyway, I know he ain't had no rest, and Aaron Rodgers wore some Auburn paraphernalia to his game, and then
speaking of the defense,
but he screwed up his Achilles.
I think the defense is doing a phenomenal job because they're actually shorthanded right now too.
Right.
We ain't seen Nehemiah preaching.
Hadn't seen him yet.
He's probably our best cover corner. J.D. Rim, the freshman from last year, he's sophomore now, but he played a good bit last year. He's got good size. And lost Austin Keys, our starting linebacker, which I don't know how good he really is compared to Nixon. First game of the season, he's out several weeks with a broke thumb. So we're actually playing. I think we're playing above and beyond where we at.
Let me ask you this: with Asante, did you? I feel like that's a bonus. Dude.
That's a bonus.
What you think?
And man, you talking about a blessing? If I'm not mistaken, based on how he plays, he's actually got another year of eligibility because of COVID. I'm not mistaken, even though he's a junior.
They still got COVID years.
Yeah, I mean they still back count him, believe it or not. But anyway, that's good for us if he decides to stay. But if he keeps playing like he's playing, it ain't gonna matter anyway.
Shoot, man, you ought to have some COVID years.
Man, I could. I don't know what I could do. Maybe
I give you half a series, man. I told somebody the other day. I said it's gonna have to be a 3 and out for me to get out there and do something. But anyway,
I don't know.
Man, that's enough about week 2. Hey, matter of fact, we had some. Week 2 was a great game. Great college football world overall. A college football week. We saw another top 10 team go down. We won't mention that. This is an Auburn show, and man, listen, I actually changed my pick on the Nebraska and Colorado. I had picked Nebraska, but shouts out to Colorado. I actually went ahead and rolled.
I feel pretty good about my Auburn Cal pick. If you go back and listen to or watch last week, I had them winning by 4, 31-27. So the 4 is right. It's just the different way of getting there.
Well, the reason why I was gonna put my dunce hat on is because I sit up there and had them winning by 10 or so, and I had them scoring 30-some points.
Right.
But they did make me look like a dunce. But anyway, we'll move right along. We're into week 3, and we're well into college football now. And so it's homecoming week. And listen, I hope y'all, if you're going down there, be careful, man. Enjoy all the festivities they got. I saw they got a cakewalk or cake race or something going on. I'd probably like to participate in that. But the big main event is the Samford Bulldogs are coming into town, and they're 1-1 right now. It's a state team, and so we got them for homecoming this year. So you mentioned that we'll probably you want to see throwing 35, 40 passes.
He really needs to play well in the third quarter for me, in my opinion. I feel bad for Samford because I think they're going to come out and try to work on some stuff, and I think they're going to open it up. I really do. I feel bad for them.
Well, they got a decent quarterback.
They do. But if I'm not mistaken, didn't they just lose this last week? 30-7, Western Carolina.
Yeah, Western Carolina, and they had Western Carolina, I think they had a running back running for 170 or something.
I hope this is not one of your old typical Gus Malzahn games where you got the inferior opponent that you know that you're gonna beat and you're gonna run it 70 times. I mean, that would be. I mean, I'll be disappointed.
Of course.
So, I mean, with that being said, speaking of running backs, I mean, I like Austin. I like Jarquez Hunter. I think both of them can go. But I like Jeremiah Cobb. Yeah. I really do. He holds on to the ball.
I do
Even
too.
that first game, even though he kind of got ran over a little bit, he was willing to sacrifice his body to pick up the blitz.
Right.
And he does all the little things. It's just, it might not be for say he's got, I think, 9 carries on the season that it gets to the point where he gets 10 or 15 carries. But I know this, his time's coming. Yeah. Somebody like him, it's like Freeze said in the press conference, they got to find a way to get him more touches, more carries. But the best way you can do that is sustain some drives. Don't go 3 and out. Then when you do that, you can get more. You go, because really, you're not going to win many games with, I think you ran 50 plays on offense. No. We hadn't won a game like that I could think of since the Terry Bowden years where we had them 4, 5, 6, whatever it was, interception returns against LSU. Yeah. And we couldn't do nothing on offense.
Right.
But speaking of offense, I know we keep reflecting on it, but Wars, Coy Moore, I guess he's still hurt. Nick Marner, the 6'6" transfer receiver from Cincinnati. He's hurt, high ankle sprain. Got to get Camden Brown involved. Got to get Jair Shorter involved. Got to get Shane Hooks involved. Man, we got the
receivers. More Fair.
We got, and I like Fairweather. I think he's unbelievable. But we got more than one tight end.
Exactly.
We just got
exactly.
I mean, it's like Freeze said on Monday when they meet with the coaches. It's Truth Monday. You know, it's some hard truths need to be happening. Mm-hmm. And I know, sure to God, I mean, they see that. So I'm not even worried about Samford. The only thing about Samford is I feel bad for him because I think they're going to catch it. And I think I will be disappointed if they don't come out throwing that ball, working on that passing game, and working on some tempo. So, I mean, there's not no line on the game for me because I'm thinking 59-10. Anything less than that, I'll probably be disappointed, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Well, you asked for my score prediction?
Yeah, just to put it out there.
I mean, I think we'll crack 60.
It'd be nice.
I mean, but
what you?
It's
that
but I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. It'll be nice if they crack 60, but just me feeling the way I feel about this Auburn offense right now.
Yeah.
And I'm overreacting. I'm gonna say 45-17, and I know that sounds crazy, but. I mean,
just depends on how we get there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Now if we come out and score 35 points in the first half, then I can see us just, easing off, and they get the garbage time points or whatever, the 17s or whatever. But I don't know, man. I just gotta. I think we're gonna be able to tell that first series what we gonna do and how aggressive we gonna be and what our plan is to establish some kind of identity of this football team. Because if you really look at it, we don't necessarily have an identity now, even after 2 games.
I think when it's all said and done, you're going to want to work on the passing game and taking your deep shots and no huddle, whatever. But I think at the end of the day, this team, based on what I've seen the first 2 weeks, it could change. It's based on they'll be a running team because you got 4 running backs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Get Batiste some good touches too, but
they need to go and establish that identity, man, and quit shuffling around with it and stuff, and so we'll know. Yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like we are a legit running team.
Yeah,
I mean, but if we quit doing all this, and then who knows, man? It could be the chess match. You know what I'm saying? That we played against. Playing against a team like Cal. Right. Don't get me wrong, man. We almost blew that.
Yeah.
And that's a game that we need to reach that 7 or 8 mark.
A lot of times,
7 or 8 win mark.
We won't think about it now, but later on in the season, I got a feeling we'll look back and say, man, that was a pretty good win.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter how you get there.
But let me ask you this then. Do you think Cal was that good?
Defensively, I do.
I believe so too.
I think if you look at his resume, Justin Wilcox has always been a good defensive minded. Now, neither one of them quarterbacks scare me. That running back's good. I mean, they got both of them running backs are good. I think they got 1 or 2 receivers, but they don't have a kicker, and that's going to cost them. They probably had open trials this week, if I had to guess. But they do got a defense.
Well, that kicker left about 12 points on the board.
9.
He missed 3. I thought he missed 4.
Yeah, maybe 1.
Well, the long one that he missed, I think that was what they call a holding. So anyway, I really ain't got nothing else to say. I mean, I could talk about some games that I'm looking at on week 3. I know you had mentioned off Al. You had mentioned just looking at Georgia and South Carolina, but they
I
got
don't
the
think-
line on that at like almost 30 points.
I think Georgia wins obviously, but I think I don't gamble, but if I did, I would take South Carolina on the points.
It's at South Carolina, so
Right.
I don't know, man. Please don't take our gambling
Don't do it.
expertise because I obviously been way off. But I'm gonna tell you something I'm looking at, and a lot of people might not look at this as a sleeper game or a tricky game.
Right.
But check your schedules. You got number 15 Kansas State going into Missouri, and Kansas State is playing very well. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but I feel like that may be a trip up game for them. I think the line is like 6.5, maybe 7 or something like
Right.
that. Don't
They're old
don't
rivals.
quote me on it.
They're kind of old rivals too.
Oh, listen. You
Okay.
know what I was gonna ask you about? Did you notice how the line dropped on that Cal and Auburn game as it got closer to the the end of the week?
kind of dropped down like
Like
4.5.
Yeah, because I think we was at 6.5 in the beginning.
Got up to 7.5 at one point.
And I knew something was tricky about that then because I was a little shaky about my pick. But anyway, y'all, we're not gambling. If we were gambling experts, y'all probably wouldn't see us on this video. We're not Vegas. We like to. It's all entertainment. Neither one of us gamble or anything like that. So please don't take our advice.
Right.
We just some average Joes or some old Joe Blows over here talking about football because we love the game. But go back to Kansas State and Missouri. It's at Missouri, and I got Missouri upsetting Kansas State.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Or just come, or you got them win the game.
I got them win the game. I don't care nothing about no points right now.
Yeah, Drinkowitz, he needs
a big win.
He can recruit fairly well, actually. They doing a good job in that St. Louis area of keeping them guys in state.
Mm-hmm.
And I think eventually, if he wins enough, I think that'll pay off for him because there's talent over
Yeah,
there.
that's a lot of talent. You got a lot of guys in the pros from that area.
They've just been
stuff
going
like that.
other places beside him, and he's done a good job of keeping them there.
Exactly.
Credit to him.
But what you got on your radar? I know I told y'all this is gonna be a short show, so we're just trying to fill
Probably
in.
that just to see what both teams actually look like at this point, which we already seen LSU.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm interested in LSU Mississippi State game just to see Mississippi State with their new coach. And I don't know, man. As far as I don't really know. I know he's a defensive minded coach. I want to see what their offense looks like because I had that game for Auburn Mississippi State as a win, which I need to see more Mississippi State, and I still feel fairly well about it. But I want to.
Well, I know they got a defense. I believe they got defense.
The defense they run now is sort of similar to what we run too, based on what I've seen. So I think there's some similarities there. So we'll see. But I'm gonna watch that one just to see. Of course, I'm gonna watch. I'm like everybody else. I'm watch Colorado. Obviously. Just to say that.
They'll be 3-0 by the end of this weekend.
But just like for us, next week it gets real for them.
Yeah. It's gonna get. They stuff look about as bad as ours coming up. Far as the
schedule wise.
The schedule wise, but I'll go back to that Mississippi State LSU game. I actually got LSU actually getting their act together and winning by 2 touchdowns.
They should. We'll see.
But I think the line is 8 or 9.5, something like that. I don't know, man. And for us not to be gambling, we be knowing the spread on these games.
I'm intrigued. I'm just gonna
But man, listen, I guess that about wrap it up.
I'm gonna say one more thing.
Go ahead.
And we'll get off here. I don't know if you've seen it. We ain't talked about this, and you know me, and I know you fairly well.
Yeah.
But I respect Coach Freeze. One of his players got baptized this week.
Oh man, that's great.
Sylvester Smith, the freshman safety from Mumford.
That's great.
He was out there in the water with him.
That's good. Man.
And you can say what you want to, man. Really, I don't push religion on people. That's not what we're about.
Right.
The way I live my life, it should be a reflection of what of what God's done for me.
Exactly.
But one thing about I respect him for doing that. And some people, there's not to me. I'll say this, and I'm done with it. There should be more of that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're raising men up to be college football players, you're raising men up for life.
For life.
And so I respect them. And some people look at whatever, they kind of use that for whatever purpose they want to use it for. But I think there's some sincerity in that. And like I said, for me personally, that was a good moment for me because it's going to come a point in your life. I don't care. You could be the best football player all the time.
Right.
But there's going to come a point in your life it's not going to be there.
Right.
And you got to have a foundation to live your life on.
Exactly.
And there's more to life and whatever.
Yeah.
But you got that strong foundation like that, that's going to carry you more farther than any money, any education, any sports, anything like that. That's the foundation that's going to carry you through life.
Man.
That's how I truly believe that. So
Man,
that hit home for me.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. So that's it for me.
Man, that's a great note to take us out in, man.
Right.
It's been fun, man. I can always leave it up to my boy to close us out, man.
Right,
I mean, that was awesome, and shouts out to that young man, man.
Not only
his
that,
life,
man, that he's gonna be a good player.
Yeah.
He's got it in him. He's got that dog in him.
giving his life.
Man,
to God
I'm just
stuff,
like,
man.
I'm ready for week 3 to get here. This weekend starts tomorrow night. And I want to see what because like I said, next week it gets real. I mean, it ain't no
ifs, ands, or buts.
It's time.
Because and listen,
preseason is over.
Yeah,
if we don't have one, but if we had one, preseason is over.
And like I said in my mind, we got one more game to get our act together.
Yeah.
And that's just it.
That's it.
And so we will be back. The Lord's willing and everything. We will be back to do what? Let's see. This is our 4th consecutive show. Man, I'm proud of you.
I got you. Yeah. Hey,
but no, man. Hopefully we'll be back with you.
Unlike Auburn's offense, consistency is the key.
Yeah, there
you
go.
I mean, you're never gonna get where you want to be if you're up and down. You need consistency in your life. I don't care what it is. Consistency is the key to everything in life.
So man, like I said, Lord's willing, man, we'll be back with y'all next week for week 4, which will be against Texas A&M, and hopefully the Eagles will take us out in this game here coming up against the Bulldogs in Auburn. It's homecoming week. Like I said, y'all be careful, and I guess I'm gonna sign out with War Eagle.
War Eagle.